Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into another episode of the Rust Belt Rivalry podcast. I'm Brian Philos, my co-host Nick Kremchek to my side here. As usual, we've got a jam-packed show. We'll be talking Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, a lot of NFL action. Nick, how the heck are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Brian. How are you?
I cannot complain too much at this moment, but as soon as I start talking about the Browns, I will be. Why don't we, since the Browns had a bye this week, and the Bengals did not, why don't we start with your Bengals and talk about the results of the Bengals-Bears game this past week?
Do we have to?
Yes, for the show, for
the people. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, basically the same story. Offense plays lights out and defense loses the game, basically. The worst defense I think I've ever seen in being a Bengals fan. And I don't think it's even close. Honestly, I thought last year was rock bottom. Oh, it's this year. Joe Flacco threw for 470 yards for the first time in his career, which is absolutely insane to think about for how long he's been in the league. I mean, the offense is clicking, man. It's just the defense just needs one stop on that final drive, and they can't do it. The fact that the Bengals even were in that situation, they came back, they were down 14 points. It's like 2 minutes to go. They got the onside kick, went for two. So they ended up taking the lead with like 50 seconds to go. And I promise you, 95% of Bengals fans were thinking, yeah, they're going to come back and lose this game. Like it was so predictable to what was going to happen. There's just no leader on this defense. They don't know how to tackle. There's no pass rush. Shamar Stewart, our number one draft pick, has 2 tackles this year. To put into perspective, Jamar Chase has 5. Let's think about that one for a second. Myles Murphy, their number one draft pick last year, non-existent. It's just constantly showing that this front office has no idea what they're doing. Duke Tobin, their GM, has been with the Bengals for, I think, 27 years. The guy needs to leave. They need to cut him loose, and they need to start this whole thing over. It's getting to the point to where they need to blow this team up at this point. They can't draft. They have no idea how to pick good talent. There's been a horrible track record, especially on the defensive side of the ball for these rookies. And I don't see it getting any better. They just traded away Logan Wilson, who is a captain this year, for a 7th round pick. I thought Trey Hendrickson, apparently Trey Hendrickson was on the table, but they wanted a 1st round pick for it. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, give me a break. It's the most Bengals thing ever. He's not worth the 1st round pick. I'm shocked that they held on to him because they need picks, man. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, what are they going to do with those picks? They're going to ruin them. This team is just driving me nuts, man. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to say. I was telling you before the show started, there's a list of the top 10 NFL defensive players with the most missed tackles this year. There are 3 Bengals in the top 3, 2 safeties and 1 linebacker. And then there's another one total in the top 10. So 4 Bengals on the defense have the worst tackle percentage in the league, missed tackles. It is unbelievable. It's sickening to think that, man. And it's not going to get any better. They have a bye week this week. They're going on to Pittsburgh the following week. And then I think after that, again, it gets tough. Like, I think 3 weeks in a row, they got to play the Ravens, the Bills, and then the Ravens. I was talking to my buddies, like, in those 3 games, I would say total that defense is going to give up 150 points easily. And it's just it sucks, man. They're wasting, they're wasting another good year on offense. I mean, the fact that the offense is doing this well even without Joe Burrow is crazy. But yeah, man, they just can't seem to find a way to get a stop. And Zach Taylor is still the head coach. He already said that there's not going to be any changes coming. He's completely lost the locker room. You got offensive players going and basically talking shit about how bad the defense is. So there's a war in that locker room right now. So I don't know, Brian. It's just It's just another year being a Cincinnati sports fan, unfortunately. And I know you know this all too well. I won't get any sympathy from you, but it's gross, man. But
so, but Zach Taylor is not a defensive guy, right? He's an offensive
no,
guy, right? He's like from the McVay tree or something, right?
yeah,
So who is the defensive coordinator?
it's Al Golden. It's his first year as the defensive coordinator. He was the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame the last couple seasons. He was actually the linebackers coach for a couple years in Cincinnati and then went to Notre Dame, and then they offered him the job here. So here's the thing. I keep going back and forth. Like, do you fire Al Golden? I mean, I don't think that's going to fix the problem. Like, could it help? Maybe. But I think 80% of this, unfortunately, is personnel you have on the field because the Bengals can't draft. They have no idea how to draft good talent. I think anybody who could have told you, you know what, is it a good idea to draft a defensive end that only had 4 sacks in his college career at number 1? You think that's a good idea?
4.5.
4.5. Sorry. It's just, laugh it up, Brian. I'm with you there. All you can do is laugh. But yeah, to answer your question, it's Al Golden.
The more I watch the Bengals this year, I'm starting to feel like Zach Taylor has a lot in common with Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
The talent, like you said, I mean, there was a defensive coordinator, I can't remember who it was, that went from the Bengals who like sucked with the Bengals and then went to another team recently in the last like 2 years, and all of a sudden is having a great year as a defensive coordinator elsewhere.
Lou Adamorillo. Yeah, he's at the Colts right now. And
now they're like a top 5 defense or something, right?
I think a lot of Bengals fans, including myself, owe Lou an apology because we were going after his head last year for how bad the defense was, and you look at it this year and it's even worse. So, Lou, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
And I was going to bring up the Shamar Stewart thing. So I was just like, I heard that today and I'm like, okay, so this guy had 4.5 tackles or sacks, whatever, in his whole college career. And they wasted a first-round pick on him. And they're like, no wonder why, like you expect him to get sacks in the NFL. Like, that's just insane. The tackling, you mentioned the tackling. I was watching just some highlights earlier and I was just, that last play that the Bears had on offense where the tight end, Loveland, I think, catches the ball. Both of your players like tackle each other rather than tackle him.
Brian, there were literally four players like right next to him. Yeah, just bounced off like a pinball, honestly.
It's just insane. But I mean, you've got to give Taylor some credit, though. I mean, he has adjusted the offense like very nicely, right? Like he is pulling out some stuff out of the Kevin Stefanski 2023 playbook with Joe Flacco that was working very well. And I think he's got it humming, right? I think you're spot on. Like they're lucky enough to have a great offense, but the defense is just doesn't have the personnel.
I mean, that's where I keep, thinking that, Zach's going to end up keeping his job after this year because I can go back and forth with it. I think Zach is an offensive coordinator labeled as a head coach right now. I mean, he was never a head coach going into this. He was the quarterback's coach for the Rams. And it's just like, and it's just, I want an actual head coach. Like I'm not saying I want John Gruden, but I want somebody like John Gruden. I want somebody with experience coaching in the NFL as a head coach, right? I don't want a position coach anymore. I'm sick of this crap. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, like Zach's offense is looking good right now, and you do have to give him credit for that. But he's losing the locker room right now, and I don't think that he really gets in these players' faces as much as he should, But yeah, I can see where you're coming from for that. I mean, you do have to give him a little respect for that for sure. But I was listening to 92.3 The Fan here, and Anthony Limo was saying, Zach Taylor's got to be gone after this year at Cincinnati, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, he's probably not going to be gone because the Bengals don't do it. They don't fire people, just I don't know, man. It's tough to watch, but I do want him gone. I think he's, like I said, he's completely lost the locker room. It's time for a change.
I hear you. Well, moving from the Bengals, who have Joe Flacco, to the Browns, who used to have Joe Flacco, this really pisses me off. In 4 games with the Browns, Joe Flacco had 815 yards passing. In 4 games with the Bengals so far, he's had 1,254 yards passing. In 4 games with the Browns, he had 2 touchdowns. In 4 games with the Bengals, he's had 11 touchdowns. 4 games with the Browns, 6 interceptions. 4 games with the Bengals, 2 interceptions. What the hell? I mean, it is just embarrassing. Like, it's a bye week, and we still get embarrassed. It's just never ending. Like, just goes to show you, and I know people want to blame Stefanski, blame Barry. I blame everybody at this point. Like, you have no wide receivers, no offensive line, and it is clear as day watching T. Higgins and Jamar Chase create separation and have all that speed to where the Browns wide receivers, like, even when you hit them in the hands, they still can't catch the dang ball. This trade deadline, we'll get into more of that later, but they sprinkled out some little information, a little tidbit the Browns did that, they told Adam Schefter, we're going to be buyers this year at the trade deadline. Well, the only thing they did was trade a guy who's only had 14 snaps on defense this year, and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, for us in a 7th round pick to get a 6th round pick. And that really boils my blood. It's like, we need a wide receiver so badly. And there are so many wide receivers that are unhappy. And clearly Andrew Berry, the smartest, most brilliant man from Harvard or Yale, where the hell he went, he's smarter than everybody else. And he knows we don't need one. Right.
Yeah.
But instead we just rack up 6th round picks for players that, we just shoo off to the side, like Joe Flacco, for instance. Now, let me ask you this. Tell me if you know anything about any of these players. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Demetric Felton, Michael Woods, Luke Whippler, and Nathaniel Watson. What do you know about those players? How great are those players in the NFL right now?
I don't hear their name that often.
You don't know who the hell they are. Those are all the 6th round picks that Andrew Berry has picked. Wow. Glad we keep piling those picks up because those are very effective. This guy cannot hit on 3rd round picks, 4th round picks, or 5th round picks. So, like, dude, I get it. You're piling up on assets, right? We're going to trade up in the 2026 draft or 2027 draft. But, like, the timelines just make no sense. Yeah. Browns fans keep watching Baker Mayfield dice it up. I keep watching Jackson Dart, who, is on another lowly team, but he is balling, I think. Like, he is putting the team on his damn back, and week after week, putting up 3 total touchdowns. Like, Danny Dimes, Sam Darnold. Like, none of these quarterbacks are good. We wanted Deshaun Watson. We wanted DTR. We wanted Dylan Gabriel. Like, that's who we're stuck with. All these guys that can't complete a damn pass. And Gabriel's so bad that apparently we can't even share first reps with Shedeur Sanders because Gabriel's so bad he needs all the damn reps himself. And the coach is like clearly sees the writing on the wall. So for the 2nd year in a row, Kevin Stefanski is sitting here saying, my job is on the line. I'm going to hand off the play calling to Tommy Rees, which, don't get me wrong, I'm a little somewhat excited for, honestly. But what is the damn plan here in Cleveland? Like, what is the plan? We just re-signed Myles Garrett, who obviously is on the back end of his career. Our entire offensive line is not signed for next year. We are in salary cap hell with Deshaun Watson's contract. We just got a couple good young players, and like, we still suck. So, like, what's the point? What are we doing here? Like, there's no plan. We had Pickett and Flacco to start the year. They got all the reps, and they were both out before the bye week. Like, what? Now we're playing 2 quarterbacks who got almost no reps in the preseason.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes no freaking sense. I mean, what? From your perspective, Nick, tell me what do you see as the plan of the freaking front office or anybody at the Browns right now? Like, what's the plan? Are we playing for a quarterback next year? Are we playing for 2029? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, it does sound like they are going to just play for another quarterback, honestly. That's what I'm wondering. When the heck are they going to, see what Sanders has? And, he's dealing with that back injury still, which is kind of weird. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, is Deshaun Watson are they going to play him this year? Like, is he going to come back?
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Deshaun Watson starts before Shedeur Sanders. Like, of course,
Yeah,
because that makes a lot of sense.
Look, man, I'm glad I go first all the time because you make me feel a little bit better about the Bengals. Because yeah, man, I feel bad for you guys, kind of, but I can't tell you what their front office is doing, man. I really can't. It doesn't make sense. Like you said, they're going to be, their offensive line is going to be a huge concern next year.
Yep.
And yeah, like they don't have anybody to throw the ball to right now.
Nope.
They do not have a confirmed quarterback. So it's basically going to be, is there going to be another rookie on the field to start week 1 next year? It's crazy.
That seems the most likely.
That's the Browns way, man. But they're getting a new stadium in a couple of years, man.
Woohoo! We'll lose in a different place. You
Right.
know what's disgusting? Unless something changes in these next 3 years, which I highly doubt that's going to happen by 2028, the Browns from 99 until 2028 will have never hosted a single playoff game in that stadium.
That's actually pretty crazy. That's a stat.
Almost
Holy
30
crap.
freaking years, not one playoff game in a league that's built for parity and is built for every 4 years for a different team to be good in the division. Unbelievable.
That is pretty insane.
Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to stop licking my wounds here. Let's move on before I just shut this whole podcast down.
Let's talk about a couple trades here, man. Honestly, the first one I want to talk about real quick. Do you think that Sauce Gardner is worth 2 first-round picks?
I saw some Jets fans that were like laughing all the way to the bank on this. They say he's not even the best cornerback on their team anymore.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the value is the value, right? Whatever Indianapolis was willing to pay. I think they got fleeced a little bit, but
they did. Look, I can maybe see 1 first-round pick, but 2 is insane. The Colts are all in right now. It's Super Bowl or bust, I feel like, for them this year.
Yeah.
You're trading away your future for a guy, like you said, who isn't even really considered their best cornerback right now on their team. I saw that. That was a jaw dropper for sure. I was like, what are the Colts doing? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we were going to talk about that one later, but that one was like, I was ready to talk about that one for sure.
Yeah, no, I was surprised, but I mean, like you said, the Colts are all in. Hey, if it works out, man, if they get 1 Super Bowl, like, does it really matter about them 2 picks? No.
I mean, it's worth it if that's the case, and if he comes in, it makes a difference, sure. But if I'm a Colts fan, I'm thinking to myself, what in the world did we just do? Honestly, that is a weird one right there.
That was a weird one.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of Quinnen Williams,
They did.
Defensive tackle. They trade him to Dallas for a second in 2026 and a first in 2027. And Maisie Smith, who's another defensive tackle, obviously not as playing as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Jerry Jones called the Bengals for Trey Hendrickson, honestly, and they turned him down. I just feel like Trey would honestly be a decent fit, and maybe they were going to do a package with him and Logan Wilson. But, yeah, like the Bengals said that they were only looking for a first-round pick for Trey Hendrickson. And I guess it doesn't sound as crazy since Sauce Gardner, got 2 first-round picks for him. But, yeah, no, I was just kind of thinking about that. The hats off to the Cowboys for going into free agency and getting – or not free agency, going into and, getting a guy that they want. I mean, I feel like in the past couple of years, they've kind of run into the same situation as the Bengals to where they're not drafting well. So it's good that they're able to go in and get, somebody who's already proven themselves, in this league. So yeah, I don't mind the trade at all for what the Cowboys did. So I still don't think Jerry Jones is a good GM, but I think he won that one for sure. So I'll give him credit for that one.
So just for reference, I mean, obviously, Trey Hendrickson is only on a 1-year contract, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a rental, right? And then you have to pay him probably big money. So that probably factors into it.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. Like, I feel like that's why the Bengals are waiting to see what happens, because I think they think they're going to be able to get him at a discount next year because he hasn't played, as good as he did last year. He's been hurt. So, yeah, I think maybe they're going to try to do one more year. But again, at the same time, I can see another distraction going into the season, like Trey Hendrickson's holding out. I think it'd be hilarious if they franchise tagged him. But
oh my gosh,
I could definitely see it happening. But yeah, I don't know. That one's going to be interesting going into next season for sure as to what the Bengals are going to do with him. Because honestly, man, if Trey Hendrickson plays against the Bears, I think the Bengals actually win that game because Trey Hendrickson can change a game like Myles Garrett, right? He's the only defensive. He's the only. He's the only guy. He's the only guy that can get to the quarterback on the Bengals have. I mean, Caleb Williams was making these guys miss left and right coming at him. I am convinced, like, if the Bengals went to go play the Cincinnati Bearcats, the Bearcats would put up 50 points against his defense. That's how bad it is, man. Brian, you laugh. No. Brian, look at the stats, man. This is the worst defense in almost NFL history.
You're nuts, bro. You're nuts. There's no way. There's no way. No way.
Well, okay, how many points do you think that Ohio State? How many points would Ohio State put up against the Bengals?
What do you think? I don't. College is not the NFL. Like, the amount of college players that even make it to the NFL, it's just not happening. Like, it's not even the same competition. Like, they'd probably be lucky to put up 20. I bet. Like, they'd be maybe even lucky to put up 17. Like, come on. It's not.
All right.
It's not the same. It's just not the same game. I know. I fall into the same trap sometimes. People start getting fired up about how bad the Browns suck and how good the Buckeyes are, and they're like, "This Ohio State Buckeyes team would run circles around the Browns." And then I listen to people that actually like played the game and are like, not a chance. Like, they're just two totally different levels. We digress, though. What about the only other trades I saw? I mean, Rashid Shaheed, Saints to Seahawks. Obviously, we're AFC heavy on this show. I think that's about to unlock Jackson Smith and Jigba even like to the next level. And they really didn't give up much. So I'm assuming Shaheed may be on the last year of his contract or something. Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins to the Eagles. That's kind of, the Eagles I think were going to be good anyway. And then Draymond Jones from the Titans to the Ravens. I think the Ravens made a couple of defensive upgrades over the last few weeks in an area that they were struggling. So, and I look at this division, that being the AFC North, like the Ravens are right on the Steelers' heels. I thought you guys would be right there too, but your damn defense just keeps giving it up, 50 points a game. Last I looked, the Ravens were the odds-on favorite to still win the division, even before that Thursday night whooping they put on Miami. They were like 2-6 or 2-5. Sorry,
it makes sense. Yeah,
but the Steelers also. the Steelers look damn good against Danny Dimes. So, like, what are your thoughts, man? Throw.
I think the Ravens are going to.
Steelers.
I think the Ravens are going to somehow come back and win the division. Look, the Bengals play the Steelers after the bye week, and I can see the Bengals going in and beating the Steelers. It's just, here's the thing. I'm going to laugh my ass off when the Bengals go 6-0 in the division, and then they don't make the playoffs. Like, they don't win the division. It's going to be the funniest thing ever. Like, they're 2-0 in the division right now. I know they got to play the Ravens still twice, but, man, I could see it happening. It's the most Bengal thing ever.
Dude. Put your money on Lamar when he plays the Bengals defense.
Oh,
holy
dude,
cow.
I want to know what his rushing yards over under is going to be. It's got to be at least like 100 yards, at least. He's going to make them look so bad. It's going to look like a circus out there. I'm not looking forward to watching that.
All right. What else caught your eye around the NFL? I mean, there was a great game, the Bills and the Chiefs.
Yep.
Do the Bills defense? My main question to you in watching that game was like, do the Bills defense finally have the horses to keep up with Patrick Mahomes?
Yes,
Shut him
I
down.
think they do. I do. I was shocked that I think the Bills were like 1.5 point underdogs going into this game, and I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
I think the Bills. It's their conference to lose at this point. I think the Bills are definitely the best team in the AFC right now. I think they're better than the Colts. You know, the Bills have been together longer. They've got a heck of a group, man. And I know Buffalo really, when they get to the playoffs, you know, they lay an egg. But as long as they can get that number one seed too, yeah, I don't see anybody going in there and beating them in the playoffs. Their defense is looking pretty good. Again, Kansas City's looking better than they did in the beginning of the season. Don't get me wrong, and we'll see them in the playoffs for sure. I think the Chiefs are definitely the only team though that could beat Josh Allen in the playoffs. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, and currently, as it sits right now, Josh Allen is 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. So,
which is crazy. It's crazy to think that they got to get over that hump, man.
But you think about it, it's always because of the defense. I mean, Josh
Yeah.
Allen, I think, 2 times has put them up like within a minute of the game.
Yep.
Like the one time it was 24 seconds and somehow Mahomes still came back and scored a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like the defense had to be improved, and I think they're finally figuring it out, even with the injuries that they've been sustaining. Josh Allen passes Cam Newton for the most career rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in NFL history with 78. How wild is that?
78?
78. And that's including playoffs, but yeah, that's wild.
He could have been a Cleveland Brown. Unbelievable.
He wouldn't have been Josh Allen if he was a Cleveland Brown, I tell you that.
That's fair.
What do you think about J.J. McCarthy? I think we talked about him at the beginning of the year, but watching that game this week, I was like, maybe this guy has got it. What are your thoughts? Is that Kevin O'Connell or is that JJ?
I think it's a bit of both. You know, he went 14 for 25, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
He also had a couple nice rushing runs too. Sorry.
He did. I do think that in that game, the Lions really shot themselves in the foot multiple times. A couple turnovers really changed that game. I don't know. I still think Detroit is definitely the best team in the league, or not in the league. I'm sorry, the division. But no, I mean, hats off to McCarthy. He played a good game. I mean, you just got to kind of see as a young quarterback, you know, continue to build off of those good games and, you know, see what he can do. But yeah, I mean, he looked good. I'll give him that. A lot better than, you know, what I thought he would look like, you know, especially coming off of his injury that he had earlier this year. So.
And then I was going to ask you about the Broncos. It currently sits 7-2. Another ugly kind of lucky win over the Texans. Obviously, CJ Stroud goes out in that ugly concussion. It was like reminded me of the Tua with the fingers, and just it just gives me the heebie-jeebies watching that. But he went out, I think, like late first quarter, early second quarter.
Yeah.
And then they're playing against Davis Mills, right, for the rest of the time. But I don't see it with Knicks. Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, they're 7-2, so your record is your record right at this point. But like, I'm just not a believer, I guess. How are you feeling?
I'm with you, man. Honestly, like, I cannot figure the Broncos out. Sometimes they look like an elite team, but then some other times, like this past week, they don't look good. And Bo Nix doesn't look that good. So they're in a tough division this year too. Obviously, with the play, they got to still play the Chiefs twice. I think they have the Chargers again, but they're going to probably make the playoffs, obviously, but I don't see them being a true threat. just too many other teams out there that are better than them, and I just don't see the consistency, week after week with them, especially in
Okay.
Bo Nix deal.
I'm totally with you. Every week I don't see it. Steelers, they looked like they were dominating, controlling the entire game against a Colts offense that we thought was I thought was unstoppable. I didn't know who was going to stop them. But the Colts end up with 6 turnovers. That obviously, with that being said, the Steelers defense was just lights out. I mean, is that just a 1 week thing? You already said you think the Steelers are going to lose the division to the Ravens. So what were your thoughts after that game? And the Steelers legit or not?
It's tough, man. I feel like the Steelers are always going to float around those, that playoff spot, going 9-8 around, those 9 wins. With Mike Tomlin as head coach, they're always there. They're always a contention. I don't think their defense is as good as it's been in the past, for sure. Daniel Jones was looking like New York Giants Danny Jones. And 4 interceptions or whatever it was, or 3 interceptions. Man, looking at the Steelers schedule too, it's not easy coming up. Like, for example, they have the Chargers, the Bengals, Bears, Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Lions, Browns, Steelers. There are a couple obviously easy games in there, but I mean, to still have to play, the Ravens twice, the Lions, and the Chargers coming up on Sunday. It's a tough schedule for them, and I think they're going to start falling off. I do.
Interesting.
That's why I think that I think the Ravens are going to make a push for them and end up winning this division.
I don't disagree with you there. The Ravens have a very easy schedule ahead, and there's obviously a reason they are still the odds-on favorite to win, even though they lost 4 in a row without Lamar. What else? So the Titans offense, horrible. They only put up 6 points.
So bad.
The Saints, I think the game was over with the Rams and Saints before halftime. Seahawks blew out the Commanders. Obviously, a big injury to Jaden Daniels. It sounds like he's out for the season now with the elbow issue.
Watch out for the Seahawks, man. I mean, 6-2. I mean, that's a pretty tough NFC West division right now. Seahawks are 6-2, Rams 6-2, and then the Niners are 6-3. You don't typically see that in that division, so that's going to be fun to watch here. When the season starts coming to an end.
So they probably all play each other a decent amount at the end of the year, right? I would guess.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, I mean it feels like that division has always just been pretty good. I mean, since really the Legion of Boom, right? I feel like, and Kyle Shanahan going to San Francisco and McVay in LA, it's just year after year. I feel like they've got a strong division.
Yeah, looks like the Seahawks, they got to play the Rams twice still, and then they play the 49ers to end the season. That's going to be that could be one heck of a finish right there. Like I said, they've been fun to watch. I mean, that's another quarterback, man, that a lot of people wrote off. But here comes Sam Darnold, and having a good year. So hats off to him.
And Mac Jones, dude. I mean, it's probably the Kyle Shanahan effect, really. But I mean, Mac Jones having a great year. He's, I think, played 6 or 7 games now, and he's been balling pretty much. Well, we might not have much to say about the week ahead. The Bengals have a bye. Anything you're looking forward to? Just not watching football or what?
I mean, we have a little family gathering, like an early Thanksgiving. So I'm looking forward to that this weekend, not having to, stress out about watching this team on Sunday. So, I need a break. I think the fans need a break more than the players do, honestly. But we were talking before the show started. I mean, there are a couple games, in here this week that look good, that will be fun to watch. I think the Rams 49ers is going to be a good one for sure. That's a good matchup, and then Drake May against Baker Mayfield. should be another good one too. Those are just two good ones. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts about this upcoming week? Especially with your Browns against the Jets, who literally just traded away basically their entire team.
Just making it harder and harder if we lose this week. No, aside from the Browns, we'll dive into the Browns here in a little bit. The Giants and the Bears. I've been waiting for you this whole show to just do it on your own. Admit that the Bears are better than you thought they were, but you didn't take the bait.
They're not as good. I still don't think they're that good. I don't.
All right. Well, they're in a damn good division, but hey, we'll see.
Brian, you have, dude. Look at what the Jets did last week to this Bengals defense, please. I mean, this team, the Bengals are making decent or mediocre teams look good. I promise you, the Bears are not that good.
All right. They're on the rise, though. I'll tell you that. They're on the rise. It might not be this year, but they're on the rise. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, you'll see.
Quarterback that paints his damn nails. It's gross. But sorry, continue.
You got the Giants and the Bears. I'm looking forward to that matchup. Jackson Dart, I think, has that team reinvigorated, and I enjoy watching the Giants. I'm looking forward to Baltimore and Minnesota. We talked about it before the show.
Yeah.
I think J.J. McCarthy's going to put up a little bit of a fight, but ultimately I think the Ravens are going to take that one. Packers and Eagles, another one on Monday night. That should be a fun one. I'm surprised now that the Packers – I don't know if they play down to their opponents, but something's kind of off there. Yeah, I mean, Micah Parsons was a goose egg. Was a no-show last week against the Panthers. And you just can't have that. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I think the Eagles are going to win, but it could be a close game. So focusing a little bit on the Browns. I mean, you mentioned it, right? We already talked about it earlier in the show. The Jets just jettisoned their two of their best defensive players out of there midweek. Browns obviously have a good defense. I wouldn't say great defense anymore. Good defense. Injuries are definitely catching up to them. And I don't know what to expect from the defensive side of the ball. It's highly going to depend on if Tyson Campbell can come back. Otherwise, we were playing with like a fourth and fifth string cornerbacks alongside Denzel Ward. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think that the Browns defense can hold them decently, and I'm really hoping that with the moves that the Jets made and Tommy Rees now being the play caller for the Browns, that they actually finally open up the playbook a little bit. I know Kevin Stefanski has been notorious for protecting the football, not throwing interceptions, and I think that he's been a little too afraid this entire year, right? Sure. I don't believe that Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel were both playing in this like little confined, like 5-yard bubble screens, all that crap. I think that Tommy Rees finally opens up the playbook a little bit, and that's what Dylan Gabriel was actually good at, was play action, deep balls down the field in college. Yep. Now, I know we don't have the horses really as far as wide receivers go, but maybe part of that is the playbook too, right? So I think that can open up a little bit. I think you're going to see a couple deep shots to Judy, to Bond, Isaiah Bond, and I think that Miles in the defensive line shuts down the Jets. And they're going to be right back down to reality, unlike what they were facing against the Bengals. A couple weeks ago. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be a good game. And then my bold prediction, as I said, the Browns, I think the offense comes alive. I think the Browns put up 28 points on offense, which would be probably the most points in this year for their offense, as sad as that sounds. Again, with the trades, I'm sure that won't happen, but with the trades, I'm just feeling a little optimistic at the moment. What about locks of the week? Last week I went 0-2. I don't know, what was your record on yours last week? Did you even do any? I can't remember. Or you weren't on the show. Never mind.
Not good though. Not good.
What do you got for us this week then?
So, man, I do not like taking unders, but the under in the Jaguars Texans game looks very intriguing. It's at 38 right now. This is a divisional game. These teams usually like to play each other pretty close. They played each other earlier this year. Final score was 17-10. I don't know. The Texans have a pretty solid defense. I don't see the Jaguars coming in and blowing this team out. And I don't even know if CJ Stroud's going to play, right? So that's why I'm really liking this under right now. And I'm with you, Brian. I like these Browns, man. I'm taking the Browns money line. I think the Jets are just obviously it's a fire sale right now. I don't even think they're trying to play head games with the Browns. They haven't even announced their starting quarterback, which is so stupid. It's obviously going to be Justin Fields. It's the dumbest thing. I don't know why they're trying to do that to you guys, but yeah, look, I mean, with it being on the road, there's no home field advantage with the Jets right now. So yeah, give me the Browns money line, and we're going to go 2-0 this week.
I love it. I'm going to put a little parlay together for all four of ours. I like you've got the Eagles who are at home, right? For the Monday Night Football.
It's in Lambeau. It's in Lambeau.
Oh, it is in Lambeau. Okay, so that makes more sense. So it's basically a pick 'em, right? The Packers are getting the 3 points for being at home, but the Eagles are plus 2.5. I'm taking the Eagles plus 2.5. I talked about it earlier. I don't have any faith in the Packers. They just lost Tucker Kraft, which was the number one tight end in the league as far as fantasy and points and all that stuff, yardage and everything. So I got a good feeling they're getting the Eagles are coming off of a bye. They're rested up, and they've got a healthy Saquon Barkley, a healthy AJ Brown. I see them running away with that game. So I take the Eagles plus 2.5 Monday Night Football, and then give me the Rams 49ers over on the points. It's 49.5. I mean, the Rams, I don't know what their points per game are, but my goodness, it just seems like every week they're putting up 35, 40 points. And the 49ers, doesn't matter who's quarterback, right? It's like they're putting up 25, 30 points a week themselves. So I like that. 49.5 point over. So
I like those for sure. One more I'm going to add in here real quick, guys. I think Vegas is trying to trick us here. The Seahawks are 6.5 point favorites against the Cardinals. I think a lot of the money is going to be on the Cardinals plus 6.5, just because of what they did to the Cowboys last night on Monday Night Football. But I really like the Seahawks to cover minus 6.5. So just keep that in mind.
As long as it stays under a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If it were 7.5, then yeah, I'd say stay away. But the Seahawks are at home. They're obviously the better team. I think I'm gonna add that one. You might have to do a 5-leg parlay here, Brian.
5-leg parlay it is, baby. We came real close 2 weeks ago, except for your little heartfelt one for the Bengals. So we were like 3 for 4. So I'm feeling it. I'll take some nickels if I can get them. Before we close it out, let's just talk a little bit of Buckeyes. Obviously, we're both Buckeyes fans. Not a whole lot to talk about, really. They kind of beat the brakes off of Penn State. Anything that you really noticed in that game want to talk about?
I just don't see anybody beating this team, man. They're good. I think Indiana is going to put up a fight against them in the Big Ten championship. But man, I still think that they're just too good. But man, what a heck of a, that's obviously going to be the case. But I think that quarterback matchup is going to be phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, I'm waiting until November 29th before I say that kind of stuff, but and we've got Purdue coming up, and as you told me before the show, we are a 29.5 point favorite over Purdue. Good golly. So let's not even talk about that. We talked a little bit about Heisman prior to the show. I thought Sand and Smith were both high on the list. You pulled up the actual list, and it looks like Sand's on top 5, but Smith is not. What do you think the reason for Smith not being on there? I mean, is it just what do you attribute that to? I'm pretty sure he's having a damn good year.
Yeah, I just think that there's all of these guys on this list right here that are the top 5. They're all quarterbacks. I kind of agree with this list. I mean, just first glance looking at it, I mean, it makes sense. But I can also see your fight as to putting Smith in the top 5. I haven't seen a top 10 list, but I'm sure he's in the top 10. If he's not, I'd be shocked.
Sure. Who is in the top 5 for the list you're looking at now?
So we have Julian Sand, Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, Marcel Reed.
Okay.
That's actually 4. I don't know why I said 5, but that's all I'm seeing on this list is 4.
That's all good. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you real quick, it was Carnell Tate. I was hoping the Browns could get him with their second first-round pick this year. And the more I watch him, the more I realize that is a pipe dream, baby.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go top 8 at the latest at this point. He's a big body guy that just catches almost every 50-50 ball. I mean, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you think he goes top 10, top 8, top 20?
It is hard not to think that he's not going top 10. I personally, I think, I mean, maybe he does sneak out of the top 10, but I think the Browns definitely still have a chance to get him, Brian, if the Browns keep losing. I really do. I see what you're saying for their second round is what you're saying.
Yeah, they had the Jacksonville pick for their first overall pick.
You're not getting them.
No, I didn't think we would. I really hope they focus on an offensive tackle first or quarterback, I guess, if that's the route they want to go.
Yeah.
But I was kind of hoping that second pick could be Carnell Tate at 17, 21-ish. But every week I watch him, I'm like, there ain't no way. I bet you the Titans pick him up at pick 3 or 4 or whatever they end up with, and he's not even going to make it out of top 5.
I mean, I hope the Bengals keep losing to potentially pick up Caleb Downs. I mean, I know he's going to go top 10, so then they need a safety big time. So I'd be very excited if they could somehow get him.
That would be a good pickup for the Bengals. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
He is a stud.
Yep.
All right. Well, that'll wrap us up for this week's episode of the Rust Belt Rivalry Podcast. Browns fans, Bengals fans, try to cover your eyes, man. We don't need any more black eyes. But Buckeye Nation, let's keep it rolling. Like Nick says, hopefully nobody can beat us this year. A lot to look forward to. Nick, close us out, baby.
Yep. Make sure you guys subscribe, leave us a review, and hit us up on social media for all your takes. We'll be back next